All right, everybody. I hope you can hear me. Let me make sure I got everything right here because I am not quite sure. Let's see what we got here. All right. Get that out of there and get this out of here and get this out of here. Hello, Randall Heaney. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? I'll get you bumped over here where you can see a little bit better here. There we are. No assembling tonight, my sir. We are going to discuss some kit guitars though. And I got to get rid of some echo I got in here. This was kind of spontaneous tonight. I didn't plan on going live, but I had some stuff on my mind, and I wanted to share it because I've been really thinking about building. Hey, Wally. So, kit guitar, that's what this is right here. We got a kit guitar right here. This was a $78 eBay special kit guitar. And it was probably one of the hardest builds that I did, but probably one of the best. One of my first, actually. So $78. And have you guys checked the prices of kit guitars lately? Prices are crazy, like out of control. Yes. Kit guitars, I love them. So I want to make that clear. I love it. I always thought that making your own guitar is the satisfaction is amazing. But the prices like have gotten so out of control that I can't afford to build them. I can't afford it. It's cheaper for me to buy a really good budget guitar that's really good, a good budget guitar, than build one. And it didn't used to be that way. So, you know, that's kind of nature of the beast now. I was building a lot of Guitar Kit World kits, and they're a fantastic company, I think. They've always treated me well anyhow. But I just can't spend that kind of money now, especially when you know that most of the stuff that you're putting in it, such as the pickups and stuff, usually, not always, but usually you're going to have to replace. So by the time you buy the kit, build it yourself, finish it, do a real good job on a kit, I mean, you're upwards $500-600, sometimes more, depending on what you're putting in it. So it's hard now. It really is. Where I was getting kits for, $150-200, and this one, $78. One of the best kits I've ever put together, $78. eBay kit, but most work, definitely the most work in this one. Yeah, this is a relic guitar. So when I first did this guitar, and I got a video coming out. It's going to be uploading tonight. It'll be going up tomorrow on this guitar. Actually, this has been, a lot of people have commented on this. This has been in the background of a lot of videos, and I never really did a lot of videos about this guitar. I did a complete build series on it, but I never did an after, with how it sounded or what have you. And that's simply because I've changed it so much. It was super gorgeous. I mean, high-end Gibson gorgeous when I got done with it. And then I said, well, I've never reliced a guitar before, so let's relic this thing. So I did. And this thing, I mean, when I say relic, this looks like this has been on tour, over and over, used and abused. And that's kind of the look that I was going for. I mean, look at the back of this thing. Very slim neck, though. And it came this way. This is like one of the slimmest C necks that I think I've seen. And this is my, as I explained in the video that's coming up, this is my experimentation guitar. This thing has been through so many transformations. It's crazy. At one time, this had Ibanez gem pickups in it, just to see if it would sound like a gem, and it did. I did, of course, not the center pickup, but the humbuckers, and it did. And now it's got Gibson PAFs in it, and they sound great. Gibson pots, Gibson switch. But if you guys look real close, you see this? You look real close. That fretboard. That's right. I scalped the fretboard on this. This was my first attempt of scalloping a fretboard, and I did it on this, and I did it in a really odd fashion. I have a quirk when I play, and I'm aware of it. And it's when I'm playing up here, I can play nice and light. When I'm up here, when I'm down here, I can play nice and light. But when I'm here, for some reason, I'm always hitting harder in this area. So having a scalp fretboard, if you've ever played them, you'll know that if you press too hard, you go sharp. I'll give you, for instance. Okay. That's pressing down. It's not bending the string. It's this. So when you're playing hard, you're right into it. You can go sharp. I press harder in this area. It's just the way I'm built. And so I scalloped from the first fret to here, and then I scalloped from here to here, and it suits me, or to the last fret, to here. So from here to here is not scalloped. And it freaks a lot of people out. But if you played the guitar, you'd understand, because I think a lot of people have the same habit that I do. So it's nice, and it's done right. It feels good. I think it sounds good once you get used to not pressing hard. It sounds great. But that's the wonderful thing about a kit guitar, is you get to do what you want with them. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Awesome, Robert. Thanks, buddy. I love it. And if I'm going to be totally honest about this guitar, this is actually my daughter's guitar now. My 10-year-old daughter loves this guitar, so I said, here you go. But you got to promise to let Daddy do stuff with it, and when I need to. She said, okay, Dad. She loves it. She's got an old soul. She digs it. She's a big blues fan, and she's a way better guitar player than I am. Yeah, over 800 in the Yamaha. It doesn't take long. And I keep getting emails from like Guitar Kit World saying, hey, when you want to do another build, and here's the thing, I can't afford them. I just can't afford them. I love building guitars. It's zen. And if you screw it up, it's your own fault. How about the people who get how you doing, guitar professionals? In the house. Look at that. These guys are awesome. If you haven't checked out the Guitar Professionals channel, go check them out. They got some really interesting stuff there. All kinds of stuff they do, and it's fun to watch. Definitely go check them out. So yeah, kit guitars, you if you look for them now, the prices are out of control. And I don't know why. I have a feeling I know why. And I don't think it's due to inflation or anything like that. I think that so many people jumped on the let's build a guitar bandwagon that they ended up, we better turn this down. We better turn that down. What do we got going on here? We got all kinds of stuff kicking on. Let's turn this down. There we go. Anyhow, they jumped on the bandwagon. Everybody's building guitars, and they keep creeping the prices up and up and up and up and up. And now, why? I'd rather buy a nice guitar than build one. But I do recommend you all build one. Does that make sense? They have good deals at Sweetwater. Sweetwater's got some pretty good stuff. I've dealt. I bought my a bunch of drum kits from Sweetwater, and they always did me right. And they'd always throw extra stuff in when I do that. So I always like Sweetwater. So how many of you out there have built a guitar kit? That's what I want to know. How many of you have, or even thought about it? Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne. Oh, that's where you are, huh? You build a guitar. I built a guitar fetish Strat. That was the Yngwie Malmsteen build that I did, and that was a. So I came in at the under 500 price point with that build, and that was the show that I could do it. But I had to really source my parts slowly to do that. And we actually used the Fender Bridge, the vintage saddles. Of course, you guys saw the neck, and man, I got so much shit about that neck. It was crazy. Like, people were pissed because it said Yngwie Malmsteen on the headstock. Now, this is the funny story. That neck, which was a scalp fretboard neck, maple neck, skunk stripe, the whole deal. I ordered that neck off of all places, Amazon. But I emailed the company that was sending the neck, because it was coming from China, and said, hey, can you put this logo on? And hey, can you put a truss rod in it that will accept a bullet truss rod nut? And they did it. And then when it came, I took the other nut off and put the bullet nut on, and what an amazing neck that was. It was an amazing guitar. And then I ended up getting rid of the guitar. Can't remember if I got rid of it on reverb or not. I can't remember. I couldn't show the headstock, of course, because then, you know, the guitar gods would get all pissed. But I got rid of it. They were happy with it, but it did have one, I say, major flaw. It wasn't a major flaw, but it was a flaw. So it was supposed to fit the body was supposed to fit a Stratocaster size neck, a regular Fender neck, and it didn't, and it had a gap. So that was the only thing that was wrong with that build, is it was cut wrong. That was it. It was a mistake. Basses, you know something, guys? The bass that I built, if you go back and check out my videos, I built a Rickenbacker style bass, Leo James Rickenbacker style bass. And that was the sickest bass guitar when it was done I've ever had in here. Butcher block style. I upgraded everything on that bass, set Rick on the headstock. And there is a gentleman in Japan, Hiroshima Nick. He's a big Rickenbacker guy, and he loved that bass too. I sold the bass, I shipped it off, and I put insurance on it, and it was packaged better than any guitar I have ever sold. And UPS managed to fuck it up. They literally snap the neck in half in shipping. The guy gets the bass and was like, dude, I love the bass, but UPS snapped the neck. The box was mangled. It was horrible. Double boxed. I mean, it was. So luckily I had the shipping insurance on it through Reverb. And one thing I recommend, if you ever sell a guitar through Reverb, is put the shipping insurance on it for a few bucks, because it is a peace of mind and they take care of it. I had to do nothing. And twice I've used that shipping insurance now. Twice I used it on a Kramer also. So, but the Kramer deal was the guy was just trying to scam somebody. That was the deal on the Kramer. But there was nothing wrong with the Kramer at all. He was just really nitpicking a brand new guitar, basically. Guitar Professional. See you later, buddy. Have a good one. And Stape, awesome for dropping by. Say, hey, the drummer is drumming. I want to jam. So, back to subject. So, building a guitar is not rocket science. Contrary to what the guitar gods want to tell you, it is not rocket science. As a matter of fact, it's pretty easy as long as you know the basics and what to look for. There's nothing magical going on. And as long as you understand how things go together, the results are usually pretty good. Now, a lot of people don't have the patience or even have the time. The hardest part of doing a guitar build is the finish work. The finishing the guitar itself is the hardest part. And I'm the first to admit it's the part that I hate the most. I love setting them up. I love setting the neck. I love doing the electronics. I love all of it because it's really simple because one thing works in conjunction with another. And, it's just a conglomeration of parts that have to work in unison. That's what it boils down to. And as once you learn how those parts work together and get rid of the myths that are out there of how those parts work together, it makes life a lot easier and a lot easier to build things. Finished work is a different story. There's a knack to it, right, Wally? There's a knack to finishing. And it takes patience. It takes time. And it's like if you're lacquering. Lacquering is a pain in the ass. The first time, my first lacquer job was horrible. My second one was okay. By the time I got to the third one with the expensive lacquer, I pretty much perfected it and I had it down. But it can get really expensive. And the price of lacquer is through the roof, depending on how you want to finish your guitar. And that's kind of why I did a relic on this. Because, well, you get a ding on it, you get a scratch, you bump it around. You're not, you don't care as long as it's set up good and it plays good. Now, for the most part, when you get guitars from Guitar Kit World, BYO, Leo James, any of those, the parts that come with it aren't horrible. Contrary to what everybody says, they're not horrible. They all work, and that's the important part, that they work. I suggest building them, use their parts, get a good understanding and knowledge of how the guitar works, how it goes together before you start upgrading. And honestly, sometimes it's worth it just to keep that first guitar in the form that it's in and then upgrade your second one. Because by the time you build your first one, you've learned a tremendous amount. You got a vast amount of knowledge when you're done going, oh, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done this. And on your second build, you can do that. And that's the time to start upgrading. So that's my advice on it anyhow. And honestly, building a guitar is not for everybody. Some people just don't have the patience, and it takes patience. And I'm one to talk because I have no patience. I like instant gratification and I want it now. But when I'm building something, although I may work 24 hours, 48 hours straight to get it done, I do have the patience to put it together and make sure that it's right. Listen, Wally, sometimes we mess stuff up and it's okay. I've started over so many times. What really sucks is when you get something and it's so flawed and foobarred, you can't fix it. I do that. I do that a lot. I'll get something and go, I can fix that. And then I get it and I'm like, I can't fix that. That happens a lot. So anyhow, this guitar, this is an awesome beast right here. I'm trying to get this here. And I'm trying to figure, I got a bad cable, I think. Those Gibson PAFs sound really, really good. I got these things at a bar. I paid $200 for these pickups, but they needed to be re-wax potted. So I wax potted them, and now they sound so good. I really like it. Great sounding guitar. Not going to convey to you because I'm not plugged in to you guys right now, but what are you up to tonight, Wally? You just chilling? Is that what you're doing? Just chilling. I don't know. Wally, I would like to see you do a build on your channel. I think you should do a build on your channel. So let's do this. Suggestions on gem kit video. I love building the gems. That's my, I just got rid of a gem build tonight to a buddy of mine. I just dropped it off to his house. I didn't do any videos on it, but he got it tonight, and I'm gonna miss that one. That's a nice one. He's got two that I built for him. But gems are fun to build. When you get used to building a certain style of guitar, and the repetition get better and better and better and better. And That's awesome. Set neck guitars are scary because you're like laying it in there, you're clamping it, you're like, okay, is that action gonna be okay? Let's hope the action's gonna be okay. So I've learned to clamp the neck hard, string up a couple strings, check the action, make sure everything's gonna be right, kind of do a mock-up before I glue anything in. I've learned. I'm learning. And you're always learning. You're always learning. You learn so many myths that are out there about things when you start building guitars. The myths that like people regurgitate them and over and over and over and over and over, and then they become their fact, their religion. So many myths, so many have been disproven. I don't know if you guys ever caught where we took the gem. You like this? We took the gem and we put Gibson PAFs in it. Left out the center pickup. Put Gibson PAFs in it. Man, I don't know if that episode's still up or not. And then did a test, a blind test, and played it, and got people's reactions to how that Les Paul sounded, because it wasn't playing a Les Paul. But that's a Les Paul. Sounds just like a Les Paul, and then panned over, and it was actually a gem with the PAFs in it, the pickups in it. No difference in tone. We have just had to make sure that the pickup height to the strings were the same. I mean, you guys have seen that, the tone wood thing busted over and over, and I was just so amazed because I didn't know what it was going to do. And then that's why we ended up trying the gem pickups in this later on, and the F-spaced ones, and it was the same thing. We did the same thing, and it sounded like a gem, but we didn't have the center pickup, but it still sounded like a gem. It was crazy. So there's so many different myths out there, but there's some things that aren't myths, such as like the size of your block on your tremolo, and your sustain. I mean, that's not a myth. The sustain from a big brass block really hangs that note. Now, it's not changing the tone of the guitar, it's just hanging the note longer. So keep that in mind, but it gives you a feeling where everything is better. So every part of a guitar works in conjunction with each other to give you a feeling that conveys. That's why people say, hey, I love this guitar. It's amazing. It's the best guitar I ever played. Because it's all working in unison together. Now you take something and make it bad, make it sound bad. And you go, I'm not feeling it. It's a horrible guitar. This is junk. Get it away. Not realizing that maybe your pickup height needed to be adjusted, or you don't have a proper setup. So a lot of people pay the big money for guitars that are, very expensive guitars, because you hand it to them and they go, oh, it's perfect. Oh, it's so perfect. But guitars, as you all know, don't stay perfect, which is why building a guitar is a good idea to understand the fundamentals of how they're put together, how they work, so you can fix your own shit when you need to and not have to take it to a luthier and pay the big money for them to tell you shit that ain't true, because they can get away with it because, I got an excellent luthier and he does this to my guitar. Does he really? Does he really? Or is he just saying, hey, I need more money? You know what I did? I set your action. And I've found that a lot. So once you learn how to do all that stuff, you're golden. You can call bullshit and you're golden. You can experiment yourself and say, this works, this doesn't. For instance, when we talk about action, we talk about guitar's action. There's no such thing as the perfect action. Do you know why? Because everybody's different. We all have a different idea of what the perfect action is. Some people like their action slammed so low, like sometimes for me it's too low, and I don't play it right. Some people like it high, like Stevie Ray Vaughan loved his action super high, right? So there's no perfect. There's just a perfect for you. So when somebody says, oh, the action is off on this, is it? Or is it just off to you? I don't like the tone. I don't like that sound. Well, that's another thing that's subjective. I've heard some amazing sounding guitars that other people hated the sound of. So it's all subjective. But one thing most people have in common is they relate money to sound. If you paid a lot for it, it must sound good. And that's what it does psychologically. And that is not the case. Inexpensive can sound just as good as expensive, because it's, in the end of the day, it is wood and electronics. That's it. No magic, nothing like that. Yeah, bass guitars, BYO, yeah, BYO has excellent guitar kits. Um, BYO got mad at me. BYO got very butthurt for some reason early on when I built one of their kits and I raved them. I thought the kit was excellent. I really, really did. And then I did a comparison between three gem kits: the Leo James, the Guitar Kit World, and the BYO. And I did a shootout, and I made it very clear that at the end of the shootout, this is my decision based on my needs. So I wasn't trying to. Every one of those guitar kits were amazing, by the way. None of them were bad. Um, and looking back, I still say the same thing. None of them were bad. Just that the Guitar Kit World was more my flavor. It came with the things that I liked more. Um, the cutout was just a little bit better, and it had the hardware that I really liked. Call me weird, but I liked the Ibanez logoed tuners, and I liked that stuff. I liked the neck. I liked that the locking nut was a pass through locking nut. I liked that stuff like that made a difference to me. Not that the BYO kit was bad, because it wasn't. It was fantastic. It was a freaking awesome kit, and it was mahogany. And the believe it or not, the Guitar Kit World one wasn't mahogany, but it didn't make a difference to me, because in the end of the day, they all looked great and played great, but the Guitar Kit World finished was more my flavor. And BYO got mad at me. They were actually going to send me another kit and some new pickups that they were offering, and then it was like crickets when I said that Guitar Kit World won the shootout. Well, it's not a rigged shootout. And as you guys know, we shoot from the hip here. We go live. We're unscripted, because I think that unscripted means honesty, and you get the truth. Means a lot to me to tell you guys exactly what I think, and that doesn't mean I don't get it wrong sometimes, because sometimes I do. Yeah, bass guitar's actions are funny. Now the Rick style bass of mine, I considered it having a high action. That's a weird scale. A Rick bass has a weird scale to it. So but it played. It was my best playing bass that I ever had, honestly. And then setting up basses normally, like this other one, this Glary that we got over here, is a fantastic bass. I don't even know how they produce those things so cheap. The Burning Fire, amazing bass. I know most people laugh. They go, Glary. It's true. I've had a few Glary basses now that are pretty outstanding playing basses, and you don't get your feelings hurt if they get banged up, which is nice. But the action on that one slammed nice and low. My favorite playing bass was the fretless bass that I had. The fretless bass. Actually, I learned how to play bass on a fretless bass, so it was really weird going to a bass with frets. Just the opposite of what most people do. So it's very strange. But I love the basses. You get these crazy, crazy sounds, which opens up a whole different world of playing for you. And then when you go to a bass with frets, you're like, you feel limited, kind of locked into a cage, So I want to try a fretless guitar sometime. That would be different now, wouldn't it? So what I'm trying to get everybody on board is do you want to see me do more guitar kit builds? Would you like to see more builds? And if so, what would you like to see? I already did 4 gems now, so I can't do any more gems. I like them. They're easy to me now because I know exactly how they're supposed to be. But I did 4 gems. I have did the Rick bass, which is phenomenal. I did 2 Les Paul style guitars. This one and another one. The other one's gone. What would you like to see next? My first kit that I wanted to build was a Flying V, but at the time they didn't have any in stock. So, and now they're doing weird shit with the headstock and leaving the headstocks uncut, which is kind of weird. No, it doesn't change the note. As long as your tuning's your tuning, it's going to change the sound the farther away you are from the pickup, for sure. But as long as it's in unison and intonated properly, it won't change your pitch. But when you press down on the note, I see what you're saying. When you press down on the note, the distance from here and here to here, if it's really high, will change it. So I kind of get where you're coming from there. But if you're in that bulb, something, you just made me realize something. That totally makes sense. I don't think I've ever had one up where it makes that big of a difference, but it's kind of like we just described with these scalp frets. So if we touch our note, right? We touch our note, we're there. But if I press too hard on a scalp fret, watch. So the same would be true if we had our action up really high and here super. I've ever had it that high where I've noticed it anyhow. But yeah, you could be right there, Wally. So a good point, buddy. Good point. Hello, Paul. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. This is a cool guitar. I'm gonna turn it down. This is a cool guitar. So kits, do we do Flying V? Should that be the next one? As you guys know, I'm not a big Strat fan. If I get a Strat, I mean, I like the sound of them. I love the sound of a Strat. It's not big on the shape unless it's a super Strat, unless it's something like that, something like the Leo James back here on the wall, super Strat. And there's plenty of those to do too, right? And how about this? So let me do this, guys. I'm gonna do something here right while I'm on here with you. Hopefully, you guys can still see me. I'm gonna go to Guitar Kit World. You're not gonna be able to see. Let's go there real quick though. Bear with me. And I'm just gonna check their prices real quick, and let's see what they got in stock. So I'm gonna click on it. And Guitar Kit World's an awesome company. Very friendly. They've used a bunch of my videos on their site, and now they're offering the blank guitar kits, which is basically a uncut piece of wood that comes with a pick guard and everything, but it's like square, so you can design it into your own shape. That would be fun. But we have like a Randy Rhoads Jackson style V that you can build. This one actually has 1 star. It's $279.99 on it right now. Okay. And that might not sound like a lot, but I paid less than that for my Jackson Rhoads V a few months ago. So brand new. So, and this is unfinished. And like I said, by the time you get done, you got to upgrade stuff. You got to finish it. By the time you're done with that guitar, you're going to have $500-600 into it. And you got to ask yourself, was it worth it? And not that they're bad kits, they're great. And I think everybody should try to find a kit that they like and build it for the experience. That's what makes it worth it, is the experience of building one. But it's not worth it to do it over and over and over and over repetitively, because shit, man, you go broke. It's cheaper to buy guitars. But I do love them. Yeah, here is an X style guitar, 300. So these prices are like $250, $300, and then when you go into their custom shop stuff, which is kind of weird. And if you get a Strat, there's $200 Strat, but you guys know, look at the Strats that are out there now, Strat style guitars that are $200 and they're shipped to you. And what was the one that I got from DPMS? What was that? That Strat that came, it was set up on the box. It wasn't like the best quality in the world, but it was set up and it was great for a beginner because it was set up. You could play it. It sounded awesome. Junk pile guitars. While I am not on my new computer right now, I mean, I got stuff running through it, but I'm actually on the Chromebook right now because I got stuff processing. I haven't. I think that I got a picture up of me on there that's kind of rolling in the background, but I'm not connected to that one tonight. But I do. What'd you think about that? You like that computer? Makes me worried sitting in front of it, like it's gonna kill me when I'm not looking. Wally, did you hear the whole story about that, by the way? Did you hear that story? I don't know if I elaborated. By the way, guys, if you're wondering what like a Les Paul style guitar weighs, let's do this. Just so you know, a lot of people say, oh, they're not, they're not as hefty as the originals. That's not true. Let's weigh her here. What do you guys think? Take a guess. Take a guess what this thing weighs. No, this is not a Gibson. It just says Gibson on the headstock. Take a guess. Weight. 8.32 pounds. So it's right on par. Right on par. There you go. 0.32. Love having that thing. A lot of different tools we're getting in here too. And so that's why I'm talking about building some more kits. But I got to make sure it's cost effective. At least something I can bring you guys a video with. Wally, no. Okay, so let's run through this while I'm sober. So I ordered a computer through Best Buy. My other one was foobarred. It wasn't working right. And I went and I bought one. And then come to find out, the one I bought, somebody stole parts out of it, didn't have a graphics card. I ended up bringing it back. Fast forward, I go to Best Buy online. I'm talking to my buddy Greg, who was, I'm going to say it, computer guy extraordinaire. He works with big Fortune 500 companies. He's a computer tech. Guy's a genius when it comes to computers. And we're talking. And I said, I needed to do this. I needed to render 4K. I needed to render 8K. I don't want to go backwards. I want to go forward. And he's like, Bakey, you got to pay to play. You have to. It's going to cost an arm and a leg. It's going to cost you a fortune, but you'll be happy in the end. And I didn't want to accept it. So finally, I accepted it. I went to Best Buy. He says you can get good pre-builts now, but you gotta look for XYZ. And he gives me the list. So I found one on Best Buy, and I was like, cool. And it said it would be there at the house within 5 days. It gave me the date, which was the 10th at the time. And I order it. I'm like, boom, shipping labels created. I'm like, yes, it says it's shipped. But you know how they do that and it's not shipped? Because the carrier never picked it up and it's sitting in that state forever. Like carrier waiting for package, carrier waiting for package, carrier. So the 10th comes and it goes. And I call Best Buy. Best Buy says, well, we don't know what's going on. I'm like, can you find out? Because I financed this thing through my finance company, and I put a big chunk down through my finance company. So they've been paid. I'm waiting on a computer that doesn't exist. Best Buy wouldn't do anything. So I call the manufacturer who's making the computer. And I called them a few times, and they probably got sick of me, but I kept persistent because I have money tied up in this thing, and I need a computer. So, I know, I am procrastinating. So anyhow, I finally get a hold of somebody. I said, look, actually, I got a hold of them on Facebook. That's how they got a hold of me. The computer company gets back a hold of me through Facebook and says, message me tomorrow. I'm going to look into it. So I message them. They said, computer's gone. Somebody took it, probably UPS, off the loading dock. Never scanned in. So we'll ship you out another one. Perfect. I just need a computer. Awesome. Now come to find out, Best Buy lied. And the computers weren't in stock. They were never in stock. They don't do pre-builds. They build them custom. Even this box I have over here has the build date on it of just a few days ago before it arrived. So they build them custom. So I get off the phone literally with the computer company. And then later on that evening, a thing comes on my phone from Best Buy and it says, bloop, your order has been canceled and refunded. I said, what? You mean canceled and refunded? I need a computer. What are you talking about? So I go and look at my tracking. And the guy at the computer place said, we're going to use the same tracking number, same tracking. So I look and it says tracking voided, tracking canceled. And I said, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I called Best Buy. Best Buy, why did you cancel my order? I didn't tell you guys to cancel my order. I need this computer. Well, of course, you get somebody in Zimbabwe. They don't speak English. And they're like, nothing we can do. Sorry, it's canceled. I said, no, you can't do this. I just spoke with the computer company. They were in the process of sending me another one. You can't do this. Nope, nothing we can do. You're going to have to go get another one. Now, in the meantime, I call the finance company and they ask for the proof that was refunded. So I send that to them. So they take that and they're like, oh, okay. I lose my deposit on the computer because I'm over a window. Yeah, for an item I never got. And I'm getting hot now. So I'm sitting here, toodaloo, toodaloo, toodaloo. Next thing I know, there's a package at my door. It's a computer. And that's the unboxing that you saw. That's a computer. Now, go to Best Buy and I look and I go into my thing. No, orders canceled. There's no order number for this computer. Nothing. So they sent me a free computer. Thanks, Best Buy, for being idiots. That's how that worked out. They don't want to listen, but whatever. So it's just horrible. It was a horrible situation. I was ready to go the next day, drive 75 miles to get a computer. And then this showed up at my door the day before. So I'm glad I didn't. So, and then I look it up. I'm like, what am I going to do? They've taken my deposit on this. This is a whole different order. They can't even associate it. And then I looked it up. I actually contacted a buddy of mine who's an attorney. And he's like, no, they got a fair credit practice. If they sent you something you didn't order, that's a freebie, buddy. And I was like, cool. Awesome. Because they can't make me send something back and pay for shipping, all that stuff. It's there to stay. So I found that out. So that's cool. One for the good guys, right? I know, long dragged out story. Anyhow, back to guitars. Who has a problem with logos on a guitar? Well, a lot of people have this. That logo, that pisses so many people off. See that? Yep, I did that. I put that logo on. But this is the one that really makes them cringe. You ready? You ready? Look at that. There it is. That Gibson Custom Shop. I love it. I think it's so funny. Of course, it's not a Gibson. Anybody who knows anything about guitars? So of course, look at the truss rod cover. It's got an Ace Frehley truss rod cover on it. Epiphone truss rod cover. That's pretty cool. That's so funny. That's so funny. But what an awesome guitar, though. Very cool. So speaking of awesome guitars, what about the IYV that just came in? Did you guys like that? It's pretty cool. Great sounding guitar. Really, really, really well built. As a matter of fact, I'm like trying to through two pairs of glasses. I'm double glassing tonight. That thing came in and I'm like looking at that going, wow, man, that's super, super nice. One piece mahogany body, real maple cap on it, mahogany neck, nice thin neck, gorgeous sounding guitar, no feedback right up against the amp, crazy awesome. I gotta put on my spectacles. No, I didn't pay $4,000. It was supposed to be 3,800 though. That's what it was supposed to be, 3,800. The thing is fast as shit, Wally. That computer is fast. I rendered the other day 4 video. Okay, before I'm gonna put it in perspective. The computer I had a hard time rendering 1080 with a lot of information. So when I tried to do 4K on it, I could do it, but for me to render a 15-minute video would take 4 hours. So today I've had some multiple videos that are shot, and I was rendered 4 videos at 4 20-minute videos around that at the same time in 4K, and it did them at 4 minutes apiece. 4 minutes apiece. Like I think the total time to do them all at the same time was like 8 minutes for all of them. It's crazy. I'm like, whoa, that's what I've been missing. So now I can do stuff. I can do 8K rendering now, but there's no format for me to put it on. So it's pretty cool. Although I do have the cameras to shoot in 8K. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm looking at it going, so the only thing that makes everything slow now, and it's so frustrating now, is my upload speed. Well, I know you know what I'm talking about. The upload speed, when you're trying to upload to YouTube and you're waiting and you want to schedule it, but then sometimes you can't because you don't know if it's going to be uploaded by the time. Like my internet service here It's Spectrum, and it's holy shit slow, and I don't know why. So now, if you're a business, you can get the super. I'm gonna have to do it under my business. I don't. I just have a personal account with them right now, but 10 megabits a second maximum upload speed right now where I'm at. That is crazy slow. Now, if you do the business one, the upload is 30 megabits a second. Now, my download speed is like 300. So I'm talking to Greg where he is, and he's like, his upload speed is like 368 megabits, 368 megabits a second upload speed where he is. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's like faster than my download speed. So we could do some really cool videos then, and like the wife wouldn't be mad that I'm shooting videos in my spare time because it'd be quick. So I tried to get a bunch of videos done and ready to go so I can spend the weekends with her and just hit post. That's what I'm trying to do now. The upload speeds are horrible. Horrible, Wally. Horrible. Wally, what do you think about that neck, that scalp fretboard? Everybody always asks about this guitar, but then, like, what do you think about that? Isn't that cool? See how we went too deep here? I didn't go too deep, actually. It's not too deep. They're all the same. It's just that the inlay was thinner on that one. That's pretty cool, though. It plays nice. You'd like this one. It's just that you look at it and you go, man, that's got some cool character. That's got some aura to it. Looks, and it does. Does that look like that has been beat up through the years? And you know, Timmy, sub of mine, Timmy, he looks at it and he shakes his head and he's like, oh, that poor LP. What'd you do to that guitar? I like it. I like it. I think it's cool. Scalp fretboards are different. They're different. Like you play one when you first start it and you grab it, you're like, you got to play a lot lighter. Like you can't dig into those notes. That's why Yngwie Malmsteen is so fast because you play so light. Me, I like to dig in. I like to play the blues a lot, so I like to dig into those notes and press, which is kind of cool too because you get your bend and go sharp at the same time, and you can kind of work it once you get used to it, make it do what you want. You should try it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, there it is. There it is. There that thing is. It's crazy. Looks tiny. Must be the way the video is. Looks tiny in the video. Thing's massive. It's really big, but with the box and everything, it's 58 pounds. The computer alone is 48. 48 pounds for that computer. UPS guy coming. The box is huge. UPS guys is like, what the hell? I said, I got it. All right. Listen, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to go grab some food because I am starving. And my dog's wondering what the hell's happened to me because she's outside the door. I got a big German Shepherd. And she's at the door going, where are you? I need you. She's suffers from anxiety when I'm not around. So I'm going to let you guys go. I want to thank you for stopping by to Fulton Street Beats. Always remember, guys, it's rock and roll that makes the world go round. And if you have any suggestions on the kits that you'd like to be built, just throw them in the comment section. Please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And like I said, this was a spontaneous live stream. Just felt like chit-chatting tonight with you guys. And guys rock, man. So thanks for stopping by. I will talk to you soon. Bye.